Hello, and welcome to my third Milestone presentation. My name is Elise Durst, and I'll be presenting my Bachelor design project called Game Design 101. Without further ado, let's begin. This project is based on the study of open-world game design. This genre is characterized by the freedom to approach the game's story and objectives in any order. This means that the player experiences the game in a unique sequence depending on their choices. Open-world games have been developed since the 1980s. However, it wasn't until the early 21st century that this genre skyrocketed in popularity around the world. As such, there hasn't been a lot of academic research published on this topic. The video game industry is worth nearly 76 billion euros and sees no signs of slowing down. With advancing technology, powerful graphics processing units, and gaming electronics becoming more affordable, there's a promising future in store for the production of open-world games. My aim is to publish insightful research and showcase interesting design concepts on modern open-world game design. These concepts will be based on two critically acclaimed open-world video games, The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild and Ghost of Tsushima. At first, I opted for a website. However, I decided to challenge myself and design a game to showcase these concepts. Game Design 101 is a 2D game that aims to serve as an interactive gallery to showcase concepts and ideas mentioned in my thesis. Users can explore the game and find non-playable characters, or NPCs, that will speak about these concepts. This game was also a means for me to learn game development and coding. It was developed using Unity Engine and Visual Studio Code. The target audience of this game consists of game designers and game developers, gaming enthusiasts, and individuals who are interested in learning more about game design. This game offers a relaxing yet informative and entertaining experience. The user can explore the world at their own pace and interact with NPCs to learn about various game design concepts. NPC dialogues branch into different subtopics. The user can also interact with objects, such as breaking pots, reading signs, and attacking enemies. The user enters the game and is welcomed with an onboarding process, which informs them of the game's purpose and goes over the game's controls. After onboarding, the user enters the game and now they're free to explore. While exploring, the user will find many NPCs with whom they can interact. They can also interact with other objects, as previously mentioned. The user can read all the game design concepts at their own pace. When the user wants to quit, they can end their play session at any time through the pause menu. Game Design 101's scope consists of four main components: the world design, animations, coding, and sound design. The world design includes a complete 2D game map with an overworld and house interiors. An overworld is a large area within a video game that interconnects all its levels or locations. The world design is also made up of many assets and sprites, which are basically 2D models or images. Many aspects of the game had to be animated. This includes player movement, attack animations, enemy movement, and object animations such as fires and waterfalls. Then, the overall game had to be programmed with many scripts written in C#, a coding language used in Unity. This includes the game's behaviors, branching NPC dialogue, and game UI elements such as the title screen, the pause menu, and so on. Last but not least is sound design, which really brought Game Design 101 to life. My kind and talented friend produced most of the game's original music. Sound effects were also added, such as a confirm sound, a sword swing sound effect, a pot smash sound, and so on. Here's a game map, which shows all of the included topics. I picked the three biggest topics for my thesis and divided them into three categories and map areas. These are game world design, UX and UI design, and game mechanics. One cluster of rooms is dedicated to a theme or topic. Each topic is its own biome or area. Each room contains NPCs with whom the player can interact to learn about these topics, as previously mentioned. Here's the finished 2D map of Game Design 101, which was designed using Unity's tile map system. This is also known as the Overworld. I actually found this to be one of the most fun aspects of designing the game. Using Adobe Photoshop, I designed a total of 49 NPCs for the game. I originally wanted to design only 12 NPCs, but I then felt the world would feel empty with so few characters, so I pushed myself to design 49 to include more content and topics. Another reason behind this was that I wanted some NPCs to have filler dialogue, or small talk, to give the user breathing room from reading game design concepts. To make a functioning game, a total of about 35 codes were required that amounted to more than 2,000 lines of code. This was done using Visual Studio Code. Coding was easily the most challenging part of game development, but also very rewarding, as I learned a lot about C#. For user testing, I had 5 individuals play my game. These testers reported a few game bugs to me. The first one being that colliders, or game objects that basically act as walls that the player cannot walk through, were acting strangely. The user could walk straight through walls, then find themselves stuck within these colliders, which is obviously not intended to happen. The second general issue reported was that users found themselves unable to move after leaving certain screens and the pause menu. The second general issue reported was that users found themselves unable to move after leaving certain screens from the pause menu. The third issue reported was that music wasn't looping properly. Music was restarting in scenes in which they weren't supposed to. In response to this user feedback, I added a screen to the pause menu called Dealing with Game Bugs, which tells users how to deal with certain game bugs when they encounter them. This includes both the collider and the stuck-in-place issue. For example, when the user gets stuck inside a collider, all they have to do is simply pause and select the option Reload Game. This does as is indicated, and the player respawns and can walk around again. While I wasn't able to fix these issues, I was able to resolve the music issue. After fixing, music played and looped in scenes as intended. As a first-time game developer, Game Design 101 was easily the most challenging project I've ever worked on. A big part of this were the general time constraints and my limited knowledge of coding. Each and every stage of development was time-consuming and required a lot of care and attention to the process. What are the main takeaways of Game Design 101 for the user? They will most certainly learn many new and interesting things about open-world game design. This game was designed with precision, heart, and a strong desire to provide insightful and fun content. This game has also been designed to be relaxing, informative, and entertaining all in one. For example, enemies are set out of the way and can be avoided entirely. The user can explore and read at their own pace and return to the game whenever they wish. What are the main takeaways of Game Design 101 for myself, the designer? A painful lesson I learned is that game development shouldn't be underestimated at all. It's intensive, demanding, and super challenging. On the bright side, it's also equally as rewarding and fun when you see your game start to come together. I also learned that games have unlimited potential in terms of being interactive learning platforms. Thanks to this project, I've developed a fondness for game design and coding, and I'm inspired to pursue these in my future career. In the future, I would like to add more features to this game in my efforts to continue learning game design. This includes dungeons and caves, stronger enemies, and items such as chests, bombs, and projectiles. I will also program NPC movement and continue troubleshooting to solve recurring game bugs. That concludes my third milestone presentation of Game Design 101. Thank you kindly for your attention.